Alright, so in my last video, we talked about reasons why people don't vote. In this video, we're going to continue to talk about reasons why people don't vote. And I wanted to read to you guys a quote by Martin Luther King Jr. He says, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter." Now, how true is that? So many times people become silent, and because they become silent, alright, they won't ever see changes happen to whatever they are silent about. That's why it's so very critical to protect our freedom of speech. That is a right given to each one of us, endowed by our Creator. It is a right given directly from God Himself. And no man or woman has the right to take your right of freedom away from you. And through brainwashing, through media, and possibly other techniques and strategies that I'm probably not even aware of, the enemy is able to create a sort of sheeple, a group of people, perhaps even a large majority of people, which is probably their ultimate goal, that are easily able to be controlled, easily able to manipulate, easily able to tinker with their thought processes so that they don't have to be aggressive. They can come in very secretively, very silent. Because if you were fighting in a war like the Civil War, you would want to have a good strategy. You would want to surprise your enemy. Surprise attack. In the same way, that is, in a sense, how the enemy or the opposition works inside of our country, even though you and I don't see him or this enemy, this thing, day in and day out. Understand and know that there are really bad people that are influenced and are controlled by wicked things in this life, like money, sex, pride, and of course this is all directly from the one and only Satan, who is the ruler and prince of air, as the Bible says, of this planet that we live on. And don't underestimate, okay, his influence and his power in this world, and even in America. If your eyes are open to discernment, you will clearly be able to see the wickedness that is rampant, okay, in our country and throughout the world at large. And there's no point of discussing all of these things in this video because I could go on forever about all of the wickedness. I just want to make it clear that this is happening. And one way that the enemy often succeeds is when their opponent succumbs to silence, when they're almost like paralyzed, where they can't move, where they can't speak, where they don't talk. That's exactly what they want. They want people to not speak up against the corruption. They want people to just willingly succumb to their beliefs, to their decisions, to their way of life, to their control, ultimately. And if we look very closely at the Democrats, okay, not that Republicans are not corrupt, because all have inherited, okay, the sin from Adam and Eve. And we all have problems in our lives, and none of us are perfect. But if we actually look at some of the philosophy that the Democrats are spewing out of their mouths, as was seen in the last and first debate that the Democrats had, we shall see that they are very much socialists. And socialism is a branch of communism. And you can read that on Wikipedia. And if you look into other various sources or go to their library, you can find this out. Now, they would like you to believe that it's a different type of socialism, that it's a good socialism, that it's beneficial. They believe that it's good to tax the rich very much and to not tax the poor as much, when really it should be fair for everyone. Why punish someone that has created wealth using the law of the land? And if it was legal, there shouldn't be any problem with that. If you've created a successful business, then pat yourself on the back and thank God for that success. But punishing people because they become successful, that's weird. That's just not right. That's unfair. That would be like somebody, in a sense, punishing the winning football team because they have better players, and so therefore it was, in their eyes, unfair because the losing team didn't have as good players, so they feel justified in punishing the winning team. It's kind of in the same sense, that I'm speaking of in terms of taxation on the rich and the poor. But really, the larger picture here that I want to try to bring across to my viewers is that probably the most important thing that any of us can do to bring about change and positive change is to use our voice, to speak the truth, regardless if it offends anyone, okay? I don't know if you can go through a day in life without saying something that might offend someone. Look, we're here to please God, not man. Now, by pleasing God, if you are on God's side, you will automatically be pleasing men that are also on God's side. You see how that works? That's why all the bad people are like circling around each other, and all the good people are circling around each other. Okay? It works that way. But the best thing that we really have going for us right now is speaking out the truth, speaking against corruption, and going out there and voting for someone who is also speaking out against the corruption, who is also speaking about wanting to bring about a positive change. And that is what is really important, because once people start becoming silent and not saying anything, then the opposition is, they can't get their mouth off the microphone. They can't get their, mouth and their body off of YouTube because they're constantly using that right to achieve what they want, even if what they want is immoral, even if what they want isn't fair, even if what they want isn't right. So, be thankful that you have a right to speak your mind. Be thankful that you do have an impact, even if it's very, very small. You never know what you say and how that could impact people or change or anything. God can take the very small things that you do and you say and turn them into magnificent, powerful things. I believe that because I believe in an all-powerful creator who created the heavens and the earth and everything, okay? And if I believe in a creator that's all-powerful and all-loving and all of this stuff, then he can take things that I say and use them for good. And that's encouraging, that's motivating, that's inspiring to continue to do these types of videos. So, if you're the type of person that feels like there's no hope, that all is lost, do not despair. For even during the darkest times in our history as humans, great things have come. And sometimes, if history teaches us anything, it's that sometimes things have to get really, really bad before they get really, really good. Because only when things are really, really bad do people start, unfortunately, going through hard times, suffering. They don't like that. And sometimes when that happens, it spurs people to change. Because people start looking at things in a lot more thankful way. They don't take things for granted. And I think that is true. It's unfortunate that that has to be that way. Because if you were a wise person, then you would avoid those bad things altogether and just do what is right. But the human nature is so bad and sinful that by nature, our natural inclination is not to want to do good. It is not to want to do the right thing. Unless God sends His Spirit and convicts you of your sin, and you listen to God, and you say to God, look, I am broken down, I'm a sinner, and I need your help. I need your help to change my mindset, my heart, so that my will submits to your will, and you give me a desire and a new heart to want to do the things that you will for me. And those things which you will for me are found in the Bible, the Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth book. This is actually, it's a collection of books, so not just one book. So, if people's hearts and minds change, if people look to God, if people live for Jesus in this country will turn around. Because it has no other choice. It's almost like, feeding the right wolf. Okay? If you continue to sin, so say alcoholism, if you continue to drink, your drinking problem will continue to get worse because you're feeding it. If you avoid alcohol, and you continue to avoid alcohol, you're feeding the right wolf, in the sense that you're going to continue to get stronger and stronger and stronger, in the point that you're avoiding alcohol, and you will have power over it. So the more things that you do that are good, it has this cumulative effect, and it is a positive effect, and it does help bring about change. So the best thing, I guess, that you can learn from this video is use that right to speak. Make videos, encourage others, and speak the truth.